I answer your question here in a second with what I'm about to say. So
I doubt it.
yeah, that's fine. But the other thing too, also that's important, is that people say, well, how did he get around these famous people? Well, he would get invited to these parties because Ghislaine Maxwell would be at the UN talking about the oceans and conserving the oceans, whatever. So what ended up happening is she became a socialite and she was able to meet all these powerful people at the UN.
Why are you having to explain this to us?
Okay, Jennifer. Yeah.
A lot of us know.
Holy shit! Why is this woman speaking? I'm still trying to figure out why this woman is speaking.
But you are kind of rehashing what a lot of us already
know.
What
a dick.
Yeah, well,
hold on.
Okay, here's again, but you guys got to understand.
If you want to tie, we tied into what we're talking about tonight with the so-called release.
Yeah, that's fine. But Diligent, you got to understand, bro. There's like 2,000 people in here. The speakers, cool, you guys get it. But there's thousands of people in here that don't know a lot of this information. They might not know the detail of the information and not know all the facts and circumstances that led to this.
Most of these people are my dedicated audience, and then we've covered the Epstein files ad nauseum together in these spaces with thousands of people.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
I'm just trying to save everybody time here.
I understand that, but it significantly went up.
I had a question specifically for you, Myron, about what you said.
It significantly went up since I've come in here.
Myron, let him ask you.
It significantly went up since I've come in here, and then we got this Jennifer Lawrence woman who's speaking like rudely. I don't even know who the fuck she is.
Shut the fuck up, Myron.
Get her. Someone.
Hold on.
Can she make a sandwich for a man who's superior to her? What the fuck is going on here?
Okay. Let's just let Good Logic break it up a little bit. He did try to ask you a question a few minutes ago. I like to break this up because long monologues tend to kill the audience in spaces. Good Logic, go ahead. Ask him your question.
The listeners have been going up, but that's fine. We'll let a woman dictate how things go. See how that goes.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, come on, dude. Come on. Good Logic, go ahead.
What are you, Hamas or something? Shut the fuck up.
Who the fuck are you talking to, you fucking retard?
Listen. So we're not going to derail this, start calling names based on ideology. Like, this has nothing to do with the topic. Good Logic. Would you like to ask him a question?
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask you, Myron, most of what you said there are things that I think anyone who's been following.
That's from you, Glitch. That's not me. That's from you, Glitch. And 3, 2, 1, go for it, Good Logic. Should be good now. Good Logic. Did we lose you?
I can't hear.
Now I got it. Okay, now I got it. I'm not going to hit you. Okay, now I got it. Most of what you said there are things that I think a lot of the audience or anyone who's following the Epstein case is already aware of. I'm very curious about the part you introduced there, which is where you're able to narrow Epstein down to being either Mossad, Israeli, Jewish, or codename Tel Aviv Jaime. I'm wondering how you managed to do that and exclude CIA, FBI, MI6, or any other agencies which he reportedly had basis to have ties to. And you seem to be very, you seem to have a lot of inside information. You're talking as if, you're an expert in this area. I'm not questioning your expertise. I'm wondering, did you have direct contact with this, that that he was part of some Israeli intelligence specifically? Or is it that you actually just are surmising that it's probably the Jews and that would just be the best explanation for how he got away with this? And for some of the Jews were Svengaling the entire FBI and Acosta, and that's what was going on here. Maybe I just want you to explain that to me.
Well, interesting. I like your condescending tone of asking the question, but I'll go ahead and entertain your stupid question. No problem. Here's the thing you got to understand. CIA and Mossad work very closely together. Our foreign policy is pretty much controlled by Israelis and Jews. I mean, if you don't want to concede to that, then you're just a fucking retard at this point, honestly.
So hold on really quick, guys. So I looked it up because I was curious to see if there was something to that, because I had heard people talking about, Epstein and Mossad, and I wanted to verify if there was actually anything
to that. It's Ghislaine Maxwell that has ties to Mossad.
Well, hold on. It was witness testimony in cases that where the witness was saying that Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein bragged to her that they were like working with Mossad, or he was with Mossad. And then there was another one where there was a intelligence guy who came out and also said something to the effect of Epstein having Mossad ties. So there was a couple different sources. So it's not like there's nothing to anchor that to.
Here, I'll
so
take it
I
a
would
step
just look
further,
into that.
real quick.
Millie,
let me
that's
take it a
correct.
step
I covered
further.
the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. I was at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Great.
There definitely was reference to the ties. There were definitely were reference to the ties, the potential ties to Mossad. Supposedly, there were also references that were made because I did a deep dive onto this 3 years ago when that trial was going on. There was also other ties related to Robert Maxwell and his potential connection to both MI6 and Mossad, and also CIA. And that's why I was asking Myron how it is that he's so definitively positive that obviously this is American
But wait
intelligence
a
traveling to
second.
Mossad.
No,
So that's
this
my
is
question.
David, right?
Because
This is
American
David who was just
intel
speaking.
work closely with Israeli intel. That's why. And Robert Maxwell, by the way, just so you know, was literally involved in putting Mordecai Vanunu in jail for exposing the nuclear program that Israel illegally has, okay? So that is your connection right there, my friend. He went ahead and told the Mossad to put that Mordecai Vanunu had the pictures, the 50-plus pictures of the nuclear program out in Dimona, okay? And he got put in jail for that, and Robert Maxwell was the fucking guy that did it. So that's your connection right there, and that's Ghislaine Maxwell's dad.
So the one who ratted him out as far as connections to Mossad is the one who's has his daughter working with Mossad.
Well, there's links there for sure. I wouldn't be surprised.
I just want to make sure I understood what you're saying clearly. You're saying that Robert Maxwell, because he basically exposed someone who was involved with Mossad and ended up, you saying, going away because of some nefarious
That's not what I said.
Mossad was doing. Well, then clarify what you're saying, because that's what it came across as. So,
it's because you're not listening, because you're so triggered by what I'm saying here when I say that Israeli intelligence works alongside American intelligence, and this has been known for a very long time. It's very simple. Robert Maxwell ran a newspaper. Mordecai Vanunu went to that media company and said, look, I have pictures of Israel's illegal nuclear program. I want to go ahead and publish it with you guys. He owned that newspaper. He notified the Mossad. They kidnapped Mordecai Vanunu in Italy, and they used a honey trap female to get him there. And when they got him there, they kidnapped his ass and took him back to Israel. Okay? This guy was an asset for the Mossad. Everyone knows this. Okay? And obviously his daughter was Ghislaine Maxwell. You're telling me that there's not going to be a link there? There's a pretty solid link there.
Okay, that makes more sense, and that's more consistent with the reporting I saw. You're saying Robert Maxwell was working with the Mossad. He also was reportedly working with MI6. Am I mistaken in believing that MI6 works together with the CIA as well?
No. What the fuck?
Brock, is there any evidence that Ghislaine Maxwell's father was associated with MI6, Mossad, or any other intelligence agencies? I disregard any bias.
See, these fucking retards, guys, they just want to go ahead and argue with me. That's the fucking thing that I'm realizing. These dudes are stupid. They're not intelligent, and they just want to argue with me because they don't like me. Because I got a bigger audience than all these fucking people. Nobody knows any of these niggas, FYI. Just so you guys know. They're fucking nobodies.
Suspected by the UK Foreign Office of being
and they're Jews.
Possibly a double or triple agent, with known links to MI6, the Soviet KGB, and Israel's Mossad. His mysterious death in 1991, falling off his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, sparked speculation, with some, like Seymour Hersh in his 1991 book, The Samson Option, claiming he was a Mossad asset. Israel's then Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, speaking at Maxwell's state funeral in Israel, attended by every major Israeli intelligence figure, said he did more for Israel than can today be said, hinting at deep ties. A 1991 book by Gordon Thomas and Martin Dillon.
Yeah, I'm leaving that shit. All right. I don't give a fuck. They're a bunch of nobodies. Like I said, their views went up significantly when I was in there. So I'm just going to leave because I don't know who they let women run their space. That's fucking retarded. Yeah, when I joined, it was like around 2, and then it went up like 500 or 600 just off that. But okay, I'm out. They're fucking retards. Let's see here. Where were we? I cooked them niggas, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell? Somebody said, what? Guys, do you not realize this is all I do is shit on people on Twitter Spaces when it comes to debates on Israel? It's an indefensible position, chat. It's an indefensible position. I'm not going to sit there as they fucking ask Grok a million questions and confirm what I literally just said. Like, what the fuck? Oh, well, how do you know he was the CIA asset? What does that matter? The Israeli and the American intelligence, they literally work together. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Again, oh, is it the Jews? Yeah, it is actually. Fucking dumbass.
Fatality.
It is. I can explain why it's the Jews. I can explain it in a nice, concise manner, but fucking retards, man. Holy shit. And then this woman, Jennifer, this chick is clearly, Who's this? This shit? This bitch is clearly. What is this? She follows me. What the fuck is wrong with these whores? Why would you talk shit and follow me? That's weird. What the fuck, man?